Good evening. Tonight, we turn our attention to the budget-friendly segment of NVIDIA's RTX 5000 series with a hands-on review of the MSI GeForce RTX 5068G gaming. As one of the most accessible, esports class cards on the market, it promises impressive frame rates in modern AAA titles, but it comes with one notable compromise. We'll evaluate its design, cooling, power consumption, real-world gaming benchmarks, and the implications of its 8GB VRAM limit. NVIDIA recently expanded the RTX 5000 series with two mid-range editions: the RTX 5060T 16GB and the RTX 5068GB. Today, we're focusing on MSI's custom take on the latter, targeted squarely at gamers seeking high 1080p or even some 1440p performance without breaking the bank. The RTX 5068GB sits below NVIDIA's higher-tier GPUs. Partner manufacturers like MSI have clear product and pricing strategies for the RTX 5060. They chose to equip it with 8GB of GDDR7 memory, rather than the 12GB found on some competing mid-range cards. MSI's GeForce RTX 5068G gaming delivers on that philosophy. It sports MSI's signature twin Frozr 10 cooling solution with large Stormforce 7 blade fans, core pipe heat pipes, and a waved heatsink design. At idle or light loads, the fans remain in 0 FROZR mode completely off until the GPU reaches 140, ensuring whisper quiet operation during normal desktop tasks. Aesthetically, the card embraces the aggressive styling common to MSI's gaming lineup. Angular cuts and embossed accents on the shroud give it a distinct look. The front-facing cooler housing features black and gray panels, with subtle RGB accents that can sync with MSI's Mystic Light software. Along the back, a sturdy metal backplate bears both the GeForce RTX and MSI logos, plus large cutouts that aid airflow through the heatsink fins. In recent years, even mid-range cards have adopted backplates for extra rigidity and cooling efficiency, and MSI's design is no exception. Moving to the top edge, you'll see a subtle GeForce RTX logo on one side, and an MSI Dragon emblem on the other. Power is supplied by a single 8-pin PCIe connector, paired with the PCIe Gen 5x16 slot. Although the board is X16 compatible, it actually runs over an X8 electrical interface more than adequate for its 155-watt TDP. Below, 3 DisplayPort 2.1b outputs and 1 HDMI 2.1b port cover all the bases for multi-monitor or high-refresh 4K setups. Physically, MSI's card is compact, just about the width of an ATX motherboard when installed horizontally. Its short length makes it ideal for small form factor cases, though it fits just as well in standard mid-tower builds. During our tests, fitting the card into a mini ITX chassis was straightforward, highlighting its versatility for a wide range of system layouts. For benchmarking, we used the following test bench: CPU Intel Core Ultra 9285K, RAM 32GB DDR5 at 5600 MHz, GPU MSI GeForce RTX 5068G Gaming, PSU 850W Continuous. All games were tested at 1080p Full HD resolution, with ray tracing enabled where supported, alongside NVIDIA's DLSS upscaling. Ambient room temperature was held at approximately 77 F, and the case was a closed-flow mid-tower with tempered glass side panel. First up, Cyberpunk 2077, a notoriously demanding title. At 1080p with ultra settings, ray tracing turned on, and DLSS quality mode active. The RTX 5060 averaged an impressive 245 frames per second, with minimum frame dips rarely falling below 160. That kind of performance in Night City is remarkable for an 8GB card at this price point. The card handled reflections, shadows, and lighting with aplomb, delivering a near stutter-free experience as long as DLSS remained engaged. It's worth noting, however, that, without DLSS, frame rates would plummet closer to 4050 FPS. So DLSS remains a must-have tool. In well-optimized, less ray tracing-intensive environments like daytime city streets or simple indoor areas, the card can manage slightly higher frame rates, but heavy neon districts still depend on NVIDIA's AI upscaling to maintain smooth gameplay. Next, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Ubisoft's latest open-world adventure, built on Unreal Engine, with high preset textures, DLSS enabled, and ray tracing on moderate settings. The RTX 5060 averaged 100 FPS, with minimums around 71 FPS. That delivers buttery smooth parkour across rooftops and dense foliage, even during large crowd scenes. At no point did we see sustained dips below 60 FPS at 1080p. Moving on to Doom: The Dark Ages, which is surprisingly taxing despite running on id Tech 7. In the most hectic battles where particle effects, enemy hordes, and dynamic lighting all converge, the RTX 5060 still managed a near 200 FPS average at 1080p, ultra settings, and DLSS set to balanced. VRAM usage here hovered close to the 8GB limit, suggesting that bumping resolution or texture quality further would force some graphic options to be dialed back. One clear limitation of the MSI RTX 5068G gaming is its 8GB of VRAM. In titles like Black Myth: Wukong, an Unreal Engine 5 showcase with massive texture packs and expansive open worlds, even with DLSS in play, the card struggled to keep frame rates above 60 FPS at 1080p on high presets. To achieve a consistent play experience, we had to drop texture quality and turn off some post-processing features. VRAM usage often spiked above 7.5 GB, indicating that future titles, especially those shipping with increasingly large texture sets, may push this GPU to its memory ceiling sooner rather than later. If MSI or NVIDIA offered a 12GB variant, performance in these next-gen titles would likely remain viable for a longer lifespan. The 8GB limit is sufficient today, but it has clear headroom issues beyond a 2-year horizon, especially as developers leverage Unreal Engine 5's enhanced assets. Thanks to MSI's twin Frozr 10 cooler, thermals remain well in check. In our Firmark stress test, the GPU peaked at 154F under full load. Even inside a sealed case at 77F ambient, those large Stormforce fans ramped up only when needed. Below 140F, they stayed silent. MSI's core pipe heat pipes and the waved heatsink design ensure that hot air is expelled efficiently out of the case, preventing excessive temperatures in neighboring components. Power draw peaked at 155 watts, exactly as NVIDIA specifies. That meant a single 8-pin PCIe power connector, plus the motherboard's PCIe slot, was more than enough. We also tested mild overclocking, bumping the core by 100 MHz, and the memory by 200 MHz yielded a 5% performance uplift, without pushing temperatures beyond 160F. The headroom for further tuning is limited but stable, thanks to the robust power delivery and cooling design. In summary, the MSI GeForce RTX 5068G gaming shines in competitive and AAA gaming at 1080p and can even tackle some 1440p scenarios with DLSS. Its compact size suits small form factor builds, and the silent cooling under light loads is a bonus for quiet PCs. With 3 DisplayPort 2.1b and 1 HDMI 2.1b outputs, you can easily drive high refresh rate monitors or 4K displays at competitive frame rates in less demanding titles. However, the 8GB VRAM ceiling is a significant drawback. as modern games push 12 GB and higher memory requirements, especially with ray tracing and high resolution textures. This limitation will force gamers to make concessions within 1,824 months. A 12 GB option would have future-proofed the card and positioned the RTX 5060 as the undisputed mid-range champion. Bottom line, if you want smooth, high FPS gaming in 2024 at 1080p and you're willing to use DLSS to maximize performance, the MSI GeForce RTX 5068G gaming is a compelling choice. Just be prepared to upgrade sooner than later if next-gen titles demand more VRAM. Thank you for watching.